Yesterday we were talking about the male reproductive system. Is being formed of four components I mentioned, that is the primary sex organ, the testis, the second one accessory ducts, the third one accessory glands. Now today we will discuss about the various accessory glands associated with the male reproductive system. Number one, a pair of seminal vesicles. So these seminal vesicles are normally connected to the vas deferens. The seminal vesicles secrete an alkaline fluid. They secrete an alkaline fluid, and writing here, alkaline fluid. Alkaline fluid, what is called seminal plasma. Seminal plasma. It constitutes nearly 80% of the total volume of semen. 80% of total volume of semen. Alkaline fluid called seminal plasma constituting nearly 80% of the semen. I tell you just what is semen later now. Now it contains various components. For example, it contains fructose sugar. The components of what is called the seminal plasma, fructose sugar. Then we have just actually citric acid. Oh sorry, I made a mistake. We have ascorbic acid. Not citric acid, ascorbic acid. That's the second component. The third one, a hormone, a fatty hormone, prostaglandins. Prostaglandins. This is the fatty hormone, prostaglandins. And a coagulating enzyme. A coagulating enzyme. Coagulating enzyme. So it is called vesiculase. It's called vesiculase. So it contains a fructose sugar, ascorbic acid, prostaglandins or prostaglandins. We have different spellings in different books. I will take that as prostaglandins. Then coagulating enzyme vesiculase. Now the vesiculase enzyme normally enhances what is called the sperm motility. The sperm motility is increased because of the vesiculase enzyme. So that's about what we have, the seminal plasma secreted by the seminal vesicles. A pair of glands connected to the vas deferens. After joining with the vas deferens, normally the vas deferens now called ejaculate duct, yesterday discussed about. Now a pair of bulbourethral glands, also called by name corpus glands. Now these glands also secrete a fluid concerned with the lubrication of the penis. Concerned with the lubrication of the penis. So bulbourethral glands or corpus glands concerned with what we have actually the lubrication of the penis. Then another one, what we have, a single prostate gland. So normally the bulbourethral glands are present just inferior to what we have, the prostate gland. The location of this one inferior to the prostate gland. Now what is prostate gland? This prostate gland normally encircles what we have, the urethra, just below the urinary bladder. Encircles the urethra, we'll see the picture later now. Encircles the urethra and present below the urinary bladder. Now it secretes a slightly acidic fluid. A slightly acidic fluid. So slightly acidic fluid. What is called the secretion of, that is the prostate gland. Slightly acidic, not strongly acidic. Slightly acidic fluid. Now the fluid constitutes nearly 20% of the total volume of semen. 80% by seminal plasma of the seminal vesicles and 20% by what we have, the secretions of prostate gland, slightly acidic fluid, which contains what we have, citrate. Then several enzymes, citrate, several enzymes, and then prostate specific antigen. Prostate specific antigen, simply called as PSA. So whether the prostate gland is in tumorous condition or cancerous condition or not, we are testing only by using what's called PSA test. that is prostate specific antigen test. Prostate specific antigen test. Now, citrate several enzymes. For example, fibrolysin. One of the enzymes present here, fibrolysin. So it contains several enzymes. One of the enzymes, fibrolysin. Now several enzymes, prostate specific antigen, etc. So it also constitutes a part of what we call semen. A part of semen. So the semen is formed of the various secretions. That is what's called seminal plasma plus sperm. Now let's take what do you mean by the semen. What do you mean by semen? So these are the three different types of actually the glands concerned with the secretion. What are the components present in each and what is the role, etc. Now let's see what is semen. Now what is semen? Semen is nothing but a milky fluid formed of two components. Component number one, seminal plasma. This is number one. Also called by another name, seminal fluid. It is nothing but the secretions of the seminal vesicles. Then we have the bulbourethral glands or corpus glands and also the prostate glands. The secretions of all these three glands together form what is called seminal plasma or seminal fluid, along with what is called sperm. About 10% of semen is formed of the sperms. So, seminal plasma plus sperms together form semen. Now, what are the functions of semen? Number one, so it is the transporting medium through which only the sperms are moving towards what we have the female genital tract during insemination. As it contains sugar, the fructose sugar, it provides nourishment, it provides nutrients, so it provides nourishment because of the presence of sugar. What we have actually, that is fructose sugar, and also we have ascorbic acid, citric acid. They provide all just actually nutrients. Now it also contains chemicals. What is the function of the chemicals? Different chemicals we have that protect and activate the sperms. The chemicals present in the semen protect and activate the sperms. And finally, they also facilitate the movement of the sperms. The wriggling movement of the sperm is facilitated by what we call the fluid medium. So these are the functions related to what we call the semen. What is semen? What are the functions? Okay, as per the book we have so many functions, but I am restricting the functions as per the syllabus. The last part of the male reproductive system is external genitalia. Now normally the penis forms the external genitalia. Any organs present outside the body to just identify the male or female sexes constitute the external genitalia and also help in what is called the transfer of structures, the units for copulation. Now the external genitalia is formed by the penis. Now it is functioning as a copulative organ. So the penis forms a external genitalia of male functioning as a copulative organ. It consists of special type of muscles, and these muscles help in erection of the penis during what is called actually or facilitate insemination for the transfer of the sperms. Now the terminal end of the penis, we'll see in the picture, is called glans penis. The terminal enlarged end of the penis is called glans penis. The glans penis is surrounded by a fold of skin. That fold of skin is called what is known as a foreskin or prepuce. If you are making a cross section of the penis, I mentioned it's formed of special type of muscles, three different types of muscles, but actually we can say two. So two laterally arranged corpora cavernosa. This is one type of muscles. And the second one, a single just actually ventrally placed corpus spongiosum. So two laterally placed corpora cavernosa and one corpus spongiosum. So three sets of muscles present forming what is called the penis. And now the urethra is passing through the lower corpus spongiosum. Okay, that's about actually the simple structure of muscles present when you are taking the cross section of the penis. So with that I concluded about what we have the male reproductive system. Now the male reproductive system is represented by means of a simple diagram and also the associated glands along with the ducts. Now it consists of a pair of testes placed in a sac of skin called as a scrotum. Now from the outer surface of the testis we have a highly coiled epididymis. The simple highly coiled tubule for storage of sperms temporarily, which leads into vas deferens, which is running backward and opens into what is called actually the urethra, the one which is present below the urinary bladder. Now, before joining with the urethra, it receives a duct from the seminal vesicle, one of the paired glands, seminal vesicle, which secretes seminal, what is called plasma. Then we have just below the urinary bladder, a single prostate gland is present. Inferior to the prostate gland, we have a pair of what is called actually bulbourethral glands, or we have corpus glands. Now the urethra passes through what is called the copulative organ, the penis. The terminal end of the penis enlarges to form what is called glans penis. Okay. So we have three glands, prostate gland, seminal vesicles 2 and corpus gland. Then we have a pair of testes, then highly coiled epididymis, the vas deferens, moving up through the inguinal canal. There is a canal between the scrotum and the abdominal cavity called inguinal canal. It passes up through the inguinal canal and joining with what is called the urethra. Before joining with the urethra, it receives what we have a duct from the seminal vesicle. So these are all the components. I am showing only simple structure. That is enough to draw. It is not necessary to draw the entire, that is, body of the human. So that's all about what we have, the male reproductive system, the various organs, what I described so far. We have to pass on to the female reproductive system. The female reproductive system is far more complex than the male reproductive system. What is the reason? Number one, in addition to the formation of the female gamete, namely the egg or ova, it also helps in nurturing of the developing fetus. So it is far more complex than what we have the male reproductive system because of two reasons. One reason, normal one, relation to the formation of gametes like ova or eggs. Another one, it helps in nurturing what is called the developing fetus. That's why the system is more complex. Now what are the components present in the female reproductive system? You see one by one. As in the case of male, here too we have 4 components. Now let's see the female reproductive system. Now the female reproductive system is more complex than the male. I mentioned already reason. In addition to the formation of female gametes, it also responsible for nurturing the developing fetus. That's why it's more complex. What are the components? As in the case of male reproductive system, it consists of what is called the primary sex gland or primary sex organ, namely a pair of ovaries. Then we have accessory ducts. Then we have what is called the accessory glands, external genitalia. Along with these structures, now we have the mammary gland. Along with the structures, we have the mammary glands. The mammary glands are integrated with the components of the female reproductive system structurally and functionally and help in what we have, that is normally the fertilization process, child care, childbirth, pregnancy, fertilization, etc. So it is an integrated structure functionally and structurally to the female reproductive system, assisting the various functions, fertilization, then even ovulation, the release of egg, ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy. Then what we call childbirth and childcare. That's why you have to give importance also to the mammary glands in addition to all the structures. Now let's take the ovaries. So the ovaries are paired structures concerned with the production of the female gametes, namely the egg or ovum. Now they are placed normally in the lower part of the abdomen. Each ovary is elliptical and elongated structure having a dimension of nearly about 2 to 4 centimeter length. The ovary is normally surrounded by, we have a cuboidal epithelium. The cuboidal epithelium is otherwise called as the germinal epithelium, which encloses what we have, the ovarian stroma. So we have ovarian stroma. I am talking about ovary, ovarian stroma. Stroma means the body. So we have just outer germinal epithelium which encloses the ovarian stroma. Germinal epithelium in the form of cuboidal epithelium which encloses ovarian stroma. The ovarian stroma is differentiated into outer cortex and inner medulla. Cortex, then medulla. Cortex and medulla. And even below the germinal epithelium there is a dense fibrous connective tissue, as in the case of testis, and that is called tunica albuginea. Tunica albuginea. This is a layer of dense fibrous connective tissue present below the germinal epithelium, the cuboidal epithelium. I mentioned about the ovarian stroma, the body. It is differentiated outer cortex and inner medulla. The cortex is dense and granular. This is because of the presence of what is called the follicles, the ovarian follicles, which are in different stages of development. You'll see in the picture, I'll show the picture later, which are in different stages of development. Hence, it is dense and granular. The medulla is a loose connective tissue containing the blood vessels, the lymphatic vessels, and also the nerve fibers. Then the ovary is connected to the pelvic wall. Pelvic wall means the dorsal body wall, and also to the uterus by means of an ovarian ligament. That ovarian ligament that connects the ovary to the pelvic wall and to the uterus, I'll show in the picture, is called mesovarium. Mesovarium. So mesovarium is nothing but what we have a structure, a ligament that connects the ovary to the pelvic wall and also to what is called just to the uterus, and that is called mesovarium. Okay, so that's about what we have ovary. Okay, mesovarium is a ligament connecting the ovary to the uterus as well as to the pelvic wall. Now we have to go for the accessory ducts. What are the different types of accessory ducts, or we can say accessory organs? I am saying in that way. Instead of using the word ducts, not the ducts only. We have to go for accessory organs one by one. Now the fallopian tubes, uterus and vagina together constitute the accessory organs. Now let's take first one, the fallopian tubes or uterine tubes or oviducts. These are all the names. Now the fallopian tube just normally extending from the periphery of each ovary. This is the ovary at the peripheral region, extending from what is called the periphery of each ovary to the uterus. Now this is the uterus. Now it's being differentiated into different regions. Now the terminal part or the proximal part of the fallopian tube is in the form of a funnel-shaped structure called infundibulum. The terminal part is actually in the form of a funnel-shaped structure, we can say also proximal end. Terminal or proximal end is in the form of a funnel-shaped structure called infundibulum. Now, this infundibulum bears many finger-like structures. These finger-like structures are called fimbriae. These finger-like structures are called fimbriae. What is the role of these fimbriae? These fimbriae are in close association with the ovary, responsible for the collection of the ova after ovulation. So the first part is funnel-shaped infundibulum, which bears many finger-like projections called fimbriae. Function: help in collecting the ovum or egg after ovulation. Now the infundibulum leads into a swollen structure or what we have wider central region. Wider central region called ampulla. Normally the process of fertilization occurs only in the ampulla region. So this is a middle part, wider part, central part. Okay, central wider part. Now which leads into the last part called what is known as isthmus, which is thick bone shawl, connecting the infundibulum and ampulla to the uterus. So the fallopian tube is formed of three parts: proximal infundibulum, the central wider part ampulla, the last part isthmus, the one which connects ampulla and the infundibulum to the uterus. That's about the fallopian tube. Now let's go for the next one, what we have, the uterus. So I am representing only a simple diagram, just we have to go for the second one, uterus. Or womb of mother, a female. Now the uterus is normally a hollow, highly muscular, highly vascular. Okay, hollow, highly muscular, highly vascular, normally contracted structure. Then it is located. So I repeat once again. Now the uterus is a hollow, a muscular, then highly vascular, and inverted pear-shaped structure, just like inverted cone. Inverted pear-shaped structure lying in the lower abdomen between what we have the rectum and the urinary bladder. Location between the rectum and urinary bladder in the lower abdomen. Okay, highly muscular also. That is the uterus, inverted pear-shaped structure. Now, the main part of the uterus is called as the body. Now this is called as the body. And the rounded structure, this is a rounded structure, superior to the body is called as a fundus. The rounded structure superior to the body is called as a fundus. Now, this uterus opens into the vagina through a narrow cervix. The cervix is nothing but the neck of uterus. Neck of uterus. The cervix contains a cavity. The cavity is called what is known as cervical canal. Cervical canal. So the neck is called cervix, which is having a cavity called cervical canal. The cervical canal communicates with what is called vagina through an external orifice. Orifice means opening. External orifice. So the cervical canal is connected to the vagina through what is called external orifice, and connected to the uterus through internal orifice, the opening. Now the cervical canal along with vagina is concerned with what is called normally the birth canal or copulation canal. Birth canal. Vagina along with what is called cervical canal. Now the next one, what we have the vagina. So the fallopian tube. The second one, what we have a uterus, what I described. Uterus. And the third one, what we have, vagina. Third one, what is called vagina. So fallopian tube, uterus and vagina. So far I described about the vagina. Now the vagina is a fibromuscular tube which is normally opening to the exterior. So normally it starts from what is called the cervix of the uterus and opening to the exterior. It is normally concerned with the what is called the female copulation. It is concerned with the copulation. Also, along with copulation, it acts as a birth canal. That's why I mentioned already the cervical canal and the vagina together constitute the birth canal. So it is also a female copulation area, and here also it is lined with a number of mucous glands, etc. So we have completed about the accessory organs, the female main primary organs, namely the ovaries. The wall of uterus has 3 layers of tissues, namely perimetrium. This is the outermost thin and membranous serous layer. Outermost thin and membranous serous layer. Then we have myometrium made up of smooth muscles. Now the strongest muscle present in the body is the smooth muscles of myometrium. Regarding smooth muscles only I am telling. The strongest smooth muscle is present in the wall of uterus. So the myometrium is formed of actually thick muscular layers. So it is a middle thick muscular layer. Then endometrium. It is an inner glandular layer made up of glands, uterine glands, epithelial cells, etc. This layer undergoes cyclic changes during menstrual cycle. It is being peeled off during menstruation, once again regenerated during the menstrual cycle. About the myometrium is normally responsible for exhibiting strong muscular contractions during childbirth. That results in the delivery of the baby. The childbirth is otherwise called parturition. So, the function of the myometrium is to exhibit strong muscular contractions during childbirth or parturition. That's about what we have the various layers present in the uterus, that is perimetrium, myometrium and endometrium. Now the next one, what we have the vagina. So the fallopian tube. The second one, what we have a uterus, what I described, uterus. And the third one, what we have vagina. Third one, what is called vagina. So fallopian tube, uterus and vagina. So far I described about the vagina. Now the vagina is a fibromuscular tube, which is normally opening to the exterior. So normally it starts from what is called the cervix of the uterus and opening to the exterior. It is normally concerned with the what is called the female copulation. It is concerned with the copulation. Also, along with copulation, it acts as a birth canal. That's why I mentioned already the cervical canal and the vagina together constitute the birth canal. So it is also a female copulation area, and here also it is lined with a number of mucous glands, etc. So we have completed about the accessory organs, the female main primary organs, namely the ovaries.